Chess. It's a tough game. You guys ever had a game before where you know you're winning, you know you should win, you know there's a win there, or that there was a win there at some point, but you just kind of messed up somewhere and you're not even totally sure where, but you knew you messed up and all of a sudden you drew or even lost the game? Well, that's what happened to me the other day. I had a one game against Grandmaster Arman, who was rated over 2,600 in over the board chess, and I threw it away. And we ended up drawing the game. Now, mind you, this game was played in a simultaneous exhibition. So he's playing 21 people at once, going around in a circle. And I've actually played him in an over-the-board tournament in Las Vegas, Nevada. I ended up losing the game, but it was very close. And both of us got into some pretty serious time trouble. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a simul. I'm going to give it everything I got and really try to win this game. And as you guys can see in the position here, I am up a pawn. Right, we got ourselves to this position, just like I played the hippo against him in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm playing the hippo here, and I'm simply up a pawn. Right, we got 2 pawns on that B file. We got a third here. White only has 2. Now, I'm gonna give you guys later an opportunity to pause the video and try to figure out what black should do here. Let me show you how the game went first, though. Okay, some great play here from white. I mean, astounding defensive play to hang on in this game. Okay, perfect play. Now, as black here, I took this pawn, right? I took the pawn, right? Like, boom. All right, we take that guy. Here we have Grandmaster Arman responding by capturing my pawn as well, right? I mean, that's the biggest threat, right? It's not far. If I get G4 in, right? If you don't take that pawn right now, I'm going to play G4, and I'm just winning this game. So you got to take, right? We have king takes. And then at this point, I play king F3, right? Now it's a race to who can get to the other side first and who can take off pawns, all that kind of stuff. You know, I could have played king F2, but I just want to let you guys know, just because this king is on the same rank, right, that doesn't mean that doing the diagonal later is any worse, okay? Now, notice here, we went diagonal here. That's fine. We can go straight, right, and go for that pawn. But notice it's the same amount of time if we go straight for a long time here and then go diagonal, right? As long as you go diagonal at some point, right, and you're not doing some weird, like, to the side, straight up thing, as long as you're going diagonal at some point, it's going to be the same number of steps to that pawn on A2. And, you know, a big reason I didn't play this is because white can just play king F4. I am now kind of shouldered out of the 4th rank, and white's king is simply going to run over, capture my pawn pretty easily, and then simply capture off my second. Dead draw. And that's not what I want here, right? I'm trying to win. I'm up a pawn. I'm trying to convert this, okay? But yeah, I mean, you know, I play king takes, right? And then after king takes G5, again, I don't play here because I don't want to give white that space to just kind of go straight across against my pawn. I play king F3, right? I don't want to allow this king here, but white kind of just copies me. We have a little bit of a copycat session here. I play king C3. There's only one move here for white, only one that gives them a draw, and that is this move of king C6. This threatens the pawn, right, on B6. And in a lot of ways, more importantly, it eyes B5, because when I play king B2, white has to be ready to jump in to a square like this, right? And that's exactly what we see. Because look, I mean, if you want to take my pawn on B6, I'm just going to capture off that pawn on A2, and I'm running off to promote a queen. I'm simply winning. But king B5 is played. All of a sudden, if I push, my pawn gets captured. If I take, this guy gets lost, and white's way closer to my pawn than I am. Dead draw again. So I end up defending, again, white with only one move to get a draw here. That's king C4, defending this pawn. King A4, very impressive move here from the GM. King D5, yet again, the only move for white that gives them a draw. The reason for that is that this king is ready to jump into C6, okay? You can't go to D3 or D4 and think you're doing a good job. You got to be ready to attack this pawn. And it's very interesting, right? Very backwards, because we would usually think that we got to try to defend that pawn. But guys, at the end of the day, this pawn just can't be defended. It's going to get lost. And what you got to do is you got to go, okay, you know, black can go for that guy, but I got to be ready to capture this pawn. And I also got to be ready, right, to make a run for the B4 pawn as well. So we have this move of king D5. Now, notice here, if king A3, white goes right back. Same situation. Right, we can do this all day. We can go back and forth all day. If I play a move like B3, okay, right, we capture, but the king's on D5. The king's not here. The king is ready to jump in to C6. So by playing king D5, the white king is both ready to jump in and take this pawn if needed, and it's also ready, right, if a move like king up, to come right back and put pressure on that pawn. Okay. Now, in this position, I play the move of b5, and we now have this move of king c6. Beautiful idea. I mean, if I play a move like king a5 there, there's a lot of stuff white can play. White could just play king c5. I mean, just bring the king back, you know, do a little shuffle here. And yeah, I mean, that's that. So after king c6, I ended up pushing the pawn, right? I mean, you know, I could play king a3, but I'll lose this pawn, and this pawn's going to be attacked. So I end up trading off the pawns there. He takes on b5, and yeah, that's just a drawn game. I could have played this move of king b4, and sure, there are, you know, literally 5 moves here for white that lose, but we all know that a 2600 GM is going to find the move that draws, and that's king b6. My king would be unable to defend that pawn because of all the squares that are attacked by either their pawn on b3 or their king. I'd have to go up, take that pawn. We have a ball game. Okay, so I just thought I'd go right into it. Now we're going to go back to the original position. And I'm going to ask you guys to pause the video real quick and try to figure out how black can win this. Why is this a mate in 22 for black? Why was I just completely crushing this game but didn't know it? Assuming you've paused the video, and try to figure out what to do here. By the way, comment down below your thoughts on this position and what you would play here with the black pieces. Again, I just took this pawn. The correct move here is b5. This is the move that wins, and we're going to go over why. Now, when I first saw this move, I was thinking, okay, I mean, if I play this, white has to play king g6. Nothing else works. If you play here or here, I'm just going to win that pawn. You can't move this guy if the king runs away somewhere. I mean, look, you could go for this pawn, right? But you're way behind in this race. I mean, let's just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 moves. How many moves does it take for black to promote here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Probably not want to go there because of potential checks, but we're so ahead in the race, it doesn't matter, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boom. So we're up 4 moves in this race. I mean, it's not even close, guys. Not even close. 4 moves is not even close. So white doesn't have time to start going after this pawn, right? They have to keep their eye on this guy. And again, I have similar to the other side of the board as we just saw, black has to give up this pawn, right? And we can either run here or here, or we could just take the pawn, which is what we got to do. Now, in my head, I went over this for about 1 second, literally 1 second, and I said, this just doesn't work. I mean, why would I push this pawn and then do everything? Because white's king is simply going to copy me just like they would have, and they're just, you know, instead of there being a pawn here where white has to play a little bit of, you know, good defensive chess, they can just come over here and capture the pawn. But the winning move here that I did not see is b3. b3, right? I don't have to play king b2, right? Which just gives up both pawns, by the way. I can play b3. Now, the idea here is that if you take, we take your pawn. We promote. That's it, right? And if you take on b3, we're not going to capture. We're going to play b4. Absolutely disgusting play from black. I mean, just great chess. When I saw this, when I plugged this in, when the night was over, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. But I must also say, I mean, he missed it as well. He traded into this endgame willingly. I think it was hard to find. And, you know, I think just my common sense was going, I mean, why would I push the pawn here? White's literally just going to come right across. But I have b3. And when you take, which you kind of have to, I can now push this pawn. Because this pawn is on b5 and not on b6, I can push it up. It's defended by the king. I'm going to take this, and this pawn is going down the highway like there's no tomorrow. You can try to get your king in there all you want. You can try to sliver. Guess what? We're just going to play a move like king c2 here. You know, you chase the pawn, you're too late. That's a game. Okay. Let me know down below what you thought of this position. Let me know what you would have played in that kind of case. And yeah, let me know any questions that you may have about this very complicated king and pawn type endgame, in which case I missed the win, right? Beautiful idea. In a lot of ways, I can't even, like, let's just go a few, I can't even really remember the last time I've seen a position like this, right? Or even studied it. A position where, you know, we have 2 pawns against 1, but we don't really have time to go after it. But we do have time to push, force a capture, and then bring the other guy right back up, right? This is kind of a new concept to me. Maybe I've seen it. I'm not sure I have, but I do think it's novel, and I just thought you guys would enjoy it. So let me know what you thought of it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And on top of that, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the chess content coming your way. I wanted to give a big shout out to my Patreon supporters of the month of December in 2023. And yeah, I mean, if you're interested in becoming a patron, we have a link down below, in which case you will see all of the benefits that you gain by becoming a member. I hope to see you join the family. All that said, I'll see you on the next one.